All right, friends. Hope you and yours are safe and well. Let's talk some Torah. I want to thank my wife for having a really important conversation with me this morning, which has really prompted my thoughts about this parsha. We discussed the characters, specifically Yosef, but also looking beyond to Yosef's family and the setup for these relationships, which obviously aren't in a great place. They aren't in a healthy place. Here we were realizing that Yosef, this is an observation that Neshama made, and that Yosef wore this beautiful coat, and we think about it as a Technicolor dream coat, an adornment, and of course it was fabulous. But I suddenly looked out the window and realized here in New York, it's very cold. We have 5 children. What would it be if we said, we've had a long, hard life, each of us, and we have each been through stuff. And Yaakov certainly was too, Yosef's father, right? And you know what? I only have love enough to buy one of my children a coat. In this real-world context, all of a sudden it becomes clear how ill-equipped Yaakov was as a father in that moment because of everything he had been through. This parsha begins, Parshat VAYESHEV, with his need to just have quiet. But that isn't a luxury that really a parent has, even though we have these very real needs. And here he is only providing one of his children, maybe with what they need, maybe even being excessive in responding to the need that Yosef maybe had, because after all, we don't really give any thought, at least I didn't, until the conversation this morning, about how Yosef must feel having lost his mother. We do think about Yaakov grieving his wife. We do think about all of the siblings at war for a love that seems to be inadequate or not equally apportioned for each of them. But Yosef is handling so much. Yosef is handling so very much. And we look at people in our lives, and people deserve the chance to settle down and to have some quiet, just the way Yaakov did. But Yaakov's needs affected the other people in his life, not especially Yosef. That's not fair to everybody else. But it definitely affected Yosef, perhaps so much so that he was overwhelmed and couldn't possibly notice that while he was pouring out his gifts, telling everybody about his dreams, which were so self-centered, maybe it wasn't ego, maybe he was just broken, or maybe he was overwhelmed, or maybe he was ill-equipped, or perhaps, as some have suggested, maybe he was on the spectrum of autism or Asperger's and didn't know how to pick up on social cues, so this overwhelming love from his father, perhaps in response to Yosef's particular personality and makeup, in combination with a very complicated family dynamic and inherited trauma, made him even less equipped to know what the impact of his words would be. But perhaps he had one of these moments, just as Yaakov did earlier in his life, where Yaakov is running and running and running, and the text tells us that he encounters an Ish. And we often translate that as an experience that Yaakov has wrestling an angel. But that angel is only known as Ish. Well, in this week's Parsha, Yaakov sends Yosef, after Yosef has shared his 2 dreams, blithely unaware to the response of his resentful brothers. Yaakov sends him to Shechem. Shechem is a place of violence. We know because of last week's Parsha and what happened to Dinah. He's going to a place of hardship and he gets lost. And the language in the Parsha this week is that Yosef, sent by his father, is to'eh basadeh. He's lost in the field. But to'eh means so much. To'eva, what is often translated as an abomination in the Torah in very, very complicated ways, literally, midrashically is understood as something that you are to'eba, you're lost in it. Yosef is lost. And think about all of the things that are true about Yosef, in Yosef, around Yosef, inherited by Yosef. Yosef is to'eh. He is lost. And who does he encounter but a nameless other, someone the Torah only calls Ish? Perhaps just as Yaakov had this incredible metaphysical wrestling match with self, symbolized by Ish, so too did Yosef have a transformational moment with an Ish. And that Ish asks an existential question that Yosef needs to think about. Ma tivakesh? What are you looking for? So I want to pause for a second and actually ask us each that question. Because you are your own metaphysical, mystical other too. It's not necessarily only a question being asked from the outside. It actually is a question that we need to ask ourselves on the inside. So friends, Ma tivakesh? What do you seek? Hand on heart, gently asking myself in front of you and inviting you to ask yourself too. Ma tivakesh? What do I need? What am I searching for? What do you need? Yosef's answer in this incredibly tender moment is, Et achai anochi mevakesh. I'm searching for my brothers. I am searching for my brothers. Friends, if we could get just a little bit better at asking ourselves inside, quietly, gently, that question, what do I need? There'd be less sorrow in this world. And when asked by a loving other, what do you need? If we could get better at naming it, what deeper intimacy we would be able to have with our loved ones. Safety on the self level, love on the shared level. Yosef was so lost, and of course he was. Poor boy. Poor boy. Friends, Yosef is just an example. You and I are Yosef too. Happens to be my middle name, so I take it very personally. But what do you need? I'm really asking you to ask yourself, not because someone else can give it to you, and not because it's going to be easy to achieve. But friends, we each have moments where we are to'eh, we are lost. What a gift it is to see in the Parsha that even Yosef, in all of those myriad ways that he is to'eh, he is not set up for an easy path. Too gifted, too unaware, too burdened, too sad. Where's his mother? He looks just like Rachel. What a gift and what a burden. So Yosef needed to be asked that question. And I would say out loud to all of us, friends, we all do. We all do. What do you need? So with love in my heart, I'm just asking you a few more times to ask yourself, with self-love, not ego, not narcissism, but with the love that you deserve as an image of God, who you are called to tend to as well. What do you need? I want to bless you that you feel a little bit less to'eh, a little bit less lost, because these questions are so important and you are so worthy of asking them and hearing your own honest response. It probably comes with layers of experience, perhaps layers of burden. Friends, what a gift it is to be in community and to ask these questions. Risa, I am so appreciative. I see other people talking about Twitch. A sweet, soulful, dancing, musical, effervescent soul who clearly didn't have what he needed. In his memory. And friends, in your honors, as we reach toward Hanukkah, where one gift can lead to many, one candle can light them all. Without becoming diminished at all, may you take the time right now May you take the time and just be kind to yourself. Ask yourself the question that Yosef perhaps needed, this existential, shocking encounter when he was so lost. Maybe we could ask ourselves in this gentle way, what do you need? I want to bless you that you find it, that you know that you deserve it, that kindness should be yours, and that you can be a source of that kindness you deserve. Here we go, friends. Take a breath, sing our way into a good day. Bless you, friends. See you tomorrow.